You have one unheard message.
Hey. Sorry to bother you so late. I'm really sorry if I woke you. I would have called sooner, but this was the first time I got the chance. Look, I know you're probably very confused on who I am, but I promise you know me. You just can't remember anymore. Just give me a few seconds, and I promise I'll explain everything. But please, don't put down the phone. We've met before, but only once. It was last night at that party you went to. I forgot who even hosted it, but at the same time, I think everybody did too. It was so last minute that I think everybody was just happy they found a place to crash. I don't really live in town and was just visiting for the next few days, catching up with friends and stuff, and since yesterday was my last night, they invited me to that party, probably thinking it'd be a good send-off or something. It's funny. You're the first person I've told this to, but I'm not really a big fan of parties. There's always so many people in such small spaces, and I tend to get claustrophobic, but I couldn't just say no to them, so I reluctantly agreed. When I got there, I never really spent too much time inside. I would say most of the night consisted of me and my phone, sitting on the bench out on the patio. Although later on, I ended up playing a game of basketball with a few people. I can't remember, so I can't say I didn't have any fun, but even still, it wasn't the best. Once the party was pretty much over, it was already almost 2 a.m. Since Annie was the DD, she was rounding up some of her friends to take home, and a lot of people didn't even have one. Most of them passed out in some of the most random places. Sadly, I was one of the unlucky few, but somehow I had it even worse than everyone else. I I couldn't find a bed, a couch, or even just a chair. My friends were asleep, so I had no way to get back to the apartment. I remember stumbling around as I kept tripping over all the mess, just taking in what all happened while I was away. It's crazy how in the span of a few hours the whole house was completely trashed. I feel bad for whoever had to clean that up. But, that's when I met you. The only other person who seemed to still be awake. You looked kinda out of it, if I'm being honest. I'm not sure if you were tired or you had a few to drink. I don't know. I hadn't seen you the entire night, and you seemed like a nice enough guy. I didn't want to seem rude, so I said hello. You responded back with a friendly greeting. Very loudly, I may add. I had to shush you because you almost woke everybody up. We talked for a little bit after that. Not totally sure what it was about, but I remember enjoying it nonetheless. You were really kind and sweet, and I really liked talking to you. You just, I don't know, gave off this nice vibe that I wanted to be around. And That all went on for at least 15 to 20 minutes, maybe? I lost track of time. Maybe more, maybe less, but by the end of it, you pulled out a piece of paper from your pocket and asked me for a pen. I didn't have one, obviously, but luckily, I found one laying on the table next to me. I don't know how I did. It was so dark, but somehow it just stood out amongst everything else. You picked it up and started writing something down, and after a few seconds, you gave it to me. I couldn't read it because of the handwriting, but before I could ask what it said, you had already left. I'm not sure where you could have gone, but I didn't question it much. I just grabbed my friend's keys and ended up calling an Uber for myself. Probably thinking that that night would be nothing more than a passing memory. I kept the note in my coat pocket the whole time, though. I didn't want to lose it, because I still wanted to remember you, even if I never see you again. As soon as I got back to the apartment, I quickly fell asleep, not even bothering to take off my coat. I was too tired to even think about it, but then as soon as I woke up the next morning, I had already forgotten about you. I don't know how, but somehow I did, even though it'd only been a few hours. The rest of today went on without even a thought about last night, all until about 20 minutes ago when I got home and the note fell out of my pocket, reminding me of you. I picked it up and read it and finally figured out that it was your number all along, which leads me here, wondering if this is the same guy from the day before. It's kind of a long story, right? I'm so sorry. Look, I know that you don't remember me, and I'm not sure you'd even like me, but even if you don't, I'm glad I was able to talk to you. It was honestly the best 20 minutes of the entire night. And you don't have to call me back, but please, at least leave me a message. I just want to hear your voice one last time. Even if it's only for a few seconds, it would mean a lot to me. Thank you for listening this far. I probably spoke for way too long. I wouldn't be surprised if I was talking to myself right now. I mean, I kind of am. There's a good chance someone will never hear this, but even with that chance, I'm hoping that you will. Maybe one day we'll meet again, but until then, I'll just have to wait. Okay. I hope you have a good rest of your night. Bye.